What is up, everybody? It is Gnarly, and, well, turns out the rumors and the leaks were true. Persona 4 Golden is now officially available on PC. Yeah, Persona game on PC. I certainly did not see that coming. I'm gonna be honest, when the leaks started coming in, I didn't believe any of them. I thought it was all fake, but nope, turns out it was real. It's available right now on Steam for $20. And ever since it dropped, I've been getting a lot of people asking me if I'm gonna cover it and what my opinions on it are, because people like listening to my garbage opinions, apparently. But the answer is, I do think it's a good port, and I definitely think you should buy it. The only case where I would say to maybe hold off or maybe save your money would be is if you still have your Vita and you still really like your Vita and you still use it to play Persona 4 Golden. At that point, it really just depends on whether or not you think the upgrade is worth $20. Because the thing about this release is that it's not like some super special enhanced remastered edition or anything like that. The only real new feature that it adds is the ability to swap between the English and Japanese voices, which is definitely going to sell a lot of people on it. Me personally, not really something I care about that much, but it is a nice feature to have nonetheless. And it also adds the ability to customize your difficulty, like you can make the enemies do more or less damage, but you can also make it so that you gain more or less EXP, which was in the original Vita version, but in order to get it, you had to be on New Game Plus. Here, you can do it right from the start, which I think is pretty cool. Other than that, the only real new features, if you would even call them that, are pretty much what you would expect from a PC port, like having more controller options and being able to adjust your settings so that it runs better depending on how good a computer you have. But even then, compared to other PC games, it's pretty basic. Like, you can adjust your resolution, you can adjust the shadow quality, you can adjust the anti-aliasing, the anisotropic filtering, the V-Sync, and you can also adjust what's called the rendering scale, which basically just makes your game look more or less blocky, but you can't do anything like change the render distance or adjust the texture quality or anything like that. Now, in terms of technical issues, the only one I've really encountered so far is that I'm getting some pretty bad lag during the FMV cutscenes, especially the opening. And I did ask on Twitter if anyone else was getting this issue. A few people said they were, but most of them said it was running just fine for them, so I don't know if that has something to do with certain hardware or the de novo DRM, but that actually brings me into the biggest issue I have with this port. For those of you that aren't familiar, de novo is an anti-piracy DRM that it's not like a separate client you have to install on your computer or anything like that. It's actually something that's embedded into the game's code, and it also has been proven to negatively impact a game's performance. Like, you can actually watch several videos online of Doom Eternal running before and after de novo, and there is a clear drop in performance. And there are other issues, but to go over every reason why de novo sucks would just be an entire video in itself. But the point is, just publishers, just stop putting this crap into your games. It doesn't stop people from pirating it. It only makes things difficult for people that legitimately bought the game. Like, I just want to be able to play my game. Other than that, my issues are pretty nitpicky, like when you plug in an Xbox 360 controller, the button prompts come up as an Xbox One controller, and you can't remap the escape key for some reason. But for what it's worth, it's a pretty solid port, and you know, being able to play this game at 1080p resolution and an unlocked frame rate, it just looks really good, especially for an 8-year-old game. And probably the best thing of all is that it's not a hardware-intensive game at all. According to Steam, you only need 2 GB of RAM and anything better than a GTX 450, so you could probably dig up some old office laptop and be able to play it just fine. But now I kind of want to get into the other reason that I wanted to make this video, and that's to discuss what this port could mean for Persona ports on other consoles in the future, because this announcement just came completely out of left field, and it's the first Persona game in over 20 years, the first mainline Persona game to get ported to a non-Sony console, with the only other one being that Japan-only PC port of Persona 1 in 1999. Now, if you're active on either Persona or Nintendo Twitter, you've probably seen all the people asking for Persona games, especially 5, to be ported to Switch, with people spamming hashtags like BreakFreePersona on all of Atlus's posts, and I've also heard a lot of people say that this is proof that Persona 5 is coming to Switch, and while I do certainly think that's possible, especially now, I don't think it's at the top of Atlus's priority list, and I do think when we get Persona games coming to Switch, I think we're going to get this one first. In fact, I should also point out that this game actually does support the Switch Pro controller, like it has the button prompts and everything. But, I mean, a lot of Steam games do that, so it could mean nothing or it could mean everything. But getting back on topic, I think the main reason Atlus decided to just port Persona 4 Golden to Steam was to kind of throw it out there to see how well it would do, to see if there was an audience for Persona games on non-Sony consoles. And I think it's safe to say that it's a winner. It's not even half a week old, and it already has an all-time peak of almost 30,000 players. That is insane, and I really think it shows that people are willing to play Persona games on other consoles if they're made accessible to them. And that's kind of the problem that there is with the older Persona and Mega 10 games. Accessibility. Like, most people started with Persona 5 on the PS4, which is a current-gen system that over 110 million people own, but now they want to go back and play Persona 1 through 4 and some of the other Mega 10 games, but the problem is they can't because they're on really old and or niche systems. I mean, Golden especially, since before this, the only way you could play it was if you owned a Vita. I mean, it couldn't be emulated, and the Vita is a rare and expensive system that not many people own, and other than Persona 4 Golden, there weren't really that many reasons to own it now, and now with Persona 4 Golden being on PC, there are even fewer reasons to own one. But getting back on topic, I think considering that so far this port has done very well, I am almost certain that Atlus will bring more Persona games to PC in the future. Realistically, Persona 3 is probably going to be next, even though I personally would like to see Persona 1 and 2. I mean, Eternal Punishment especially, since we never got the PSP version of that in the West. I mean, if we could get a translation of that, that would be pretty cool. And I also definitely think the PS2 Mega 10 games could use PC ports. I mean, if we could get PC ports of SMT Nocturne, Digital Devil Saga, and the Raito series, that would be freaking amazing, and I think it would be a good way to get people excited for Shin Megami Tensei 5. But regardless of whatever Atlus's future plans are, I think the most important thing that this port tells us is that Atlus isn't completely hell-bent on keeping mainline Persona exclusive to Sony consoles like a lot of us initially thought. And there is one more thing I wanted to talk about before I wrap up this video, and that's what I'm actually most excited for about this port, is what kind of mods we'll be seeing. In fact, there even are a few mods already available to download right now. Most of it is small stuff, but what I'm looking forward to seeing later down the road is stuff like new Personas, new dungeons, maybe something like a hard type mod for Persona 4, that would be pretty cool. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if a year or two from now we start seeing entire Persona fan games using Golden as a base, kind of like Fallout New California. That would be freaking cool. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for what kind of Persona 4 Golden mods we'll be seeing in the future. Maybe I'll even do some videos on them. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Persona 4 Golden on PC. The TLDR of this video is that it's a good port, Denuvo sucks, I'm glad to see more Atlus games coming to PC, and hopefully this means more Atlus games will come to it in the future, and I am definitely looking forward to the mods. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out my other links in the description. Be sure to rate, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next video, I will see you all later.